YouTube fam, welcome back to another one of my videos. If you are new here though, my name is Dakota and I'm on a few different life journeys right now. However, this video is going to be about, it's going to be the first one in my series for my TTC baby number 2 series. I will be honest, I don't know how much I want to update this particular series right now because I just don't know how I'm going to feel as it progresses or doesn't progress. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about it. So these videos are going to be sporadic, and I just want to put it out there though so that other people will know exactly, you know, what I'm feeling and what I'm going through, and maybe they can relate to it or find some peace in it that they know that someone else is doing the same thing. So anyways, this video though is about trying to conceive our second child, my husband and I. And so if you don't really want to watch this, I am okay with you clicking off at this point. I know my other videos so far have been about weight loss or food recipes, and if this is just not your thing, that's okay. I hope you stick around for other ones, but for now, this is what this video is going to be about. Fair warning. The other thing is I might talk about things that are kind of gross for you, some of you, but it is what it is, and we're going to go through this now. So let's talk a little bit about my past. So let's start here. So I have PCOS, and I was diagnosed when I was 15. I had a lot of the typical signs of PCOS, but at the time I went to multiple doctors because I still hadn't started my cycle yet. And they just kept telling me like I'm a late bloomer, there's nothing wrong. Just telling my mom, you know, just wait it out, it'll come. And then I finally started having some other symptoms of PCOS that was kind of, they were adverse things, where then finally one day I actually had to go to my primary care because I was having horrible headaches. I mean horrible. And she said my blood pressure was extremely high. And then it kind of unraveled this entire thing that's been balling up of like all of these symptoms going on, which was hair loss, hair growth in places that you didn't want it to have. I had gained a significant amount of weight very quickly. I mean, over like one summer, I think I gained like 30 or 40 pounds. It was, what else? I hadn't had a cycle. I had horrible cramping all the time. I had high blood pressure now. And so it was just all these things, and it was like clear as day to my primary care at that time when I went to her. Actually, it wasn't even my primary care. It was someone who was covering for her. And she just said, I believe you have polycystic ovarian syndrome. Let's run some labs and find out. Lo and behold, long story short, I have PCOS. They did the ultrasound, they did labs, and it all looks and points to PCOS. And so in one way it was such a relief because I knew that I wasn't crazy for thinking something's wrong with me when I was so young. And in another way though, it was kind of difficult because at that time, everyone I was meeting with, whether it was an OB or it was my primary care at that time, they were just, it seemed like here on, they were just lacking that knowledge of where PCOS was at, what people were doing to kind of stop it or stop the effects. And it felt like everyone told me like, there's nothing you can do. You just need to kind of live with it. So it wasn't until years later though that we had to be put on a number of medications when I was like super young, like before I was even 20. I was on a number of medications for high blood pressure, my hair loss. I was on birth control, not for the birth control, but to regulate my cycles, because at that point I finally ended up getting like one cycle and then it went away for an entire year. But let me tell you, that cycle was misery. So long story short, fast forward to right now and where we're at. So now we're trying to conceive baby number 2, and my first daughter, let's talk about how I conceived her. She was a surprise from God that my husband and I were unaware of the timing of. Basically, we weren't trying, we were just kind of being ourselves, and we were dating. We weren't even engaged at that point, and there she was. She was a gift from God that I did not know the timing of. That's what I always tell people. So I didn't have to try with her at all. I will say though that when I got pregnant with her, I was the lowest weight that I had been in years. Like, I was still overweight. I'm still overweight right now, as you know from my weight loss journey if you've seen those other videos. but it was like I was at the lowest point that I had been for a long time. And at that moment, I will say I was also, is it pescatarian? Like, I was pretty much a vegetarian except for the fact that I still ate fish. Yeah, I would still eat fish, but that was like the only thing that I would eat. And I was that way for about 6 months when I got pregnant with her. And I kind of wonder to this day, like, if it had anything to do with it, but I don't know. We'll find out. So, or if we do find out, I'm not there right now to find that out. So anyways, there was no trying with her. I didn't have to think of anything. I will say, like, my cycles were super regular at that point. I felt like I knew when I was, I don't want to say that. I felt like I knew now that I have experience of like, oh, that's when I got pregnant. I feel like now I can kind of tell when I ovulate. But at that moment, I didn't know the signs as much as I did now of ovulation, if that makes sense. So, there's that. Let's see here. So fast forward to now, my daughter's going to be 2 years old in September, and I'm ready to start kind of just seeing if I can get pregnant again. So the months before right now, I have been just kind of exploring a little bit where I wanted to see, kind of pinpoint when I ovulate, because my cycles have kind of varied between 27 days length and 31 days length. So they keep kind of switching up a tiny bit. The last like 6 months basically. That's where it's been. So I've been taking these ovulation sticks before I've even been trying to get pregnant, because I kind of wanted to find out like what cycle day am I actually like averaging where I ovulate. And the one determining factor that I've realized is I've never had a positive ovulation stick since I've been kind of teeter-tottering with it. And so when I talked to my OB, I did tell her like, hey, we haven't been like actively trying yet, but we're going to. But my only thing is I've been doing these sticks and none of them are positive, and I'm starting to worry that I'm not actually ovulating. And I've been tracking my temperature, and it's not really showing me too much right now that I'm ovulating either. I've only done it for the last 2 cycles though. Actually, that doesn't even count. I've done it for 1 cycle before this, and it didn't really look like I ovulated. I'm doing it for this current cycle right now as well. So I don't really know what to think of it, but her answer was, I went and got blood work. Everything looked great. I went and did an ultrasound, and I did have a diagnosis of, I have to come back and I will write it on the screen of what it's called because I cannot remember for the life of me. But basically it gives you very heavy periods, and it can cause very painful cramping, and it's just bad. It's just bad. I'll just say that. So it answered a lot of questions because I didn't have that until after I gave birth to my daughter. And then my cycles, when they returned, they were horrible, and it made sense to me now. So now that we're trying, and I got the ultrasound done, the labs done, she felt comfortable enough to prescribe me 3 rounds of Clomid. And so that's what I've been doing. I'm on my first month of trying it right now. So for this month, I've taken it for cycle days 5 through 9, and I had a very regular period this time around, so I thought, okay, this is perfect. So I took it. I will let you guys know I had horrible, I don't want to say horrible, because they weren't horrible. They were enough for me to handle, but I will say, like, I had a lot of side effects. I took it at night every night, just like they told me to, because they said you'll sleep through some of the side effects, but I had the hot flashes, I had the nausea, the dizziness, the blurred vision, I had horrible headaches. I mean horrible headaches that lasted like hours and hours, and even after you took medication for like ibuprofen, it was like a dull pain in your head. So I felt like crud for like a whole solid week. So I checked with the pharmacist about these other side effects that I had, because I was like wondering if this was normal, and she said that it is normal. It affects less than 1% of women that take Clomid, but I had an increase in appetite like no other, and I had cramping, and then I also had, like, it sounds weird, but I had an increase in the amount and the frequency of having to go pee. So, and I mean, like, it was horrible. Like, I would have to pee, and then within 30 minutes, I felt like I had held my bladder all day. It was just kind of like, it was just so bizarre to me, and I felt very dehydrated the whole time too. Like, I could not drink enough water. Anyways, now I'm on cycle day 17 right now. No, I'm sorry, I'm on cycle day 16 right now. And I don't feel most of those side effects anymore, besides the increase in appetite and a little bit of dizziness. But other than that, I think that's the only thing that I still think that I feel. So let me talk about the ovulation sticks I've been taking so far. I've been kind of crazy this month since I've been taking the Clomid, and I kind of wanted to see exactly when, like, if I'm going to get a positive ovulation stick, when it will happen. So I've been taking 2 test strips. At first I was taking 2 test strips starting on cycle day 10 in the AM and the PM. However, I just learned the other day that you really shouldn't take your first one until after 12 p.m. because women have an LH surge in the mornings. So I've been taking 2 though a day, and I wasn't getting a positive, and it was only in the last 2 days that I found out that I should be taking it at 12. So I do one like at noon or around there, and then I've been taking another one around 4 p.m. So far I haven't seen really any change. I mean, I see a light faint line pop up, but I haven't really seen like anything even showing me like, hey, your positive's around the corner, it's getting darker. That hasn't really happened. And it does say that I'm supposed to ovulate on cycle day 17 and 18. So tomorrow would be cycle day 17, and then the day after, it said like around there is when I should be at my most fertile stage. And so far I just don't feel like I've had that positive. But my fingers are crossed, and I'm trying to be really positive about it and just not worry too much. My husband's been telling me he thinks I'm worrying too much and thinking too much about the test strips. And that's just, I think, who I am at this point. So I've been trying really hard to just be calm about it and just be like, okay, well, it's there, and we're just going to do our thing and see what happens still. But I can't lie, it's in the back of my head, like, why isn't that test strip getting darker? Why isn't it happening? But anyways, so I will, once I'm all done with this month's, or this cycle, this whole thing, once I'm all done seeing like the ovulation sticks, and I have a tracker that I've been putting on a paper to see if it gets darker by cycle day, I will probably make a follow-up video on that when I hit the end, and just see where we're at with it. I've been tracking it by my test strips by cycle day to see if I can see a progression in the line, and I haven't just yet, but I've been tracking it all. So at the end of all of this, I'll probably share that in another update. I'm not doing any of like the scans right now, like to check my ovaries, see if there's an egg that's big enough. Right now my OB kind of just wanted to take like a little bit of a softer approach to this so far, since I haven't been actively like super duper trying. So she gave me the 3 rounds of Clomid and said if we still haven't heard any, or haven't had a pregnancy by then, we'll probably then send you to an actual fertility specialist. So that's where I'm at right now. She did also suggest, which I forgot to mention, that I continue to lose weight while I'm trying to do this, because it could improve my chances. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, or trying to do. What's the plan if this doesn't happen this month? So I kind of decided only like this morning actually that if I don't get pregnant this month, I think what I'm actually going to do, instead of trying like immediately the month after, and this I might change my mind, but right now this is how I feel, is I think I'll actually put a hold on it a little bit and see if I can lose about another 15 pounds and then try again on the Clomid. I've noticed just watching other YouTubers and research myself is that there's been a lot more success for people who are overweight with PCOS if they've lost about anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds and then gave the Clomid another try, is that they've actually had better results. And so I might do that. And plus there's a lot of things around my house I realized that we could be getting done, like home improvement wise, that I can't do once I get pregnant. And so I just decided, like, okay, you know what, maybe it's a sign. If it doesn't happen this month, it's going to be okay. And then we're going to try again and, you know, maybe hold off 1 month or maybe 2 months and then see what happens. So yeah, we'll just see. I'm trying not to put all of my hope in a basket at the same time, but I am just keeping faith in everything, that everything happens when it's supposed to. My daughter came to us when we were supposed to have her, whether we were ready or not. And so I just feel like that's going to happen again, and now I'm just more prepared, and we'll see what happens though. So, and like I said, I don't know how much I want to post about this, because if I don't get pregnant, I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. If I do get a positive, I don't know if I want to share it immediately, just because of the risks of, you know, any early pregnancy really. And so I don't know. That's why I said, like, the updates on this might be a little sporadic, but I hope that it resonates with someone and they can relate to what I'm going through, and just know, like, there's another person out there handling it with you and going through it with you right now. So anyways, if you guys haven't checked out any of my other videos, please go check those out and give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment if you're going through something similar, or if you did in the past, or if you're just there supporting me, watching my videos. So nice of you. So I hope you guys have a good day, and check out my other videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell button so you can get notified whenever I get a new video out. And I hope to be producing some more here soon. Whether they're trying to conceive related, I don't know, but we'll see. Hope you guys have a good one. Bye.